Alright guys, so it's Tuesday morning and it's doing nothing but raining, and it's supposed to rain all day, so we're pretty much done for the day. There's not a whole lot we can do, and that is super bright. That looks better. That looks better. So anyway, like I was saying, there's just not a whole lot we can do today, but we do have a little bit of running around to do. So we're going to go do that. One thing I do want to kind of point out is I sprayed my yard yesterday. So a lot of you guys know that I'm looking into getting my weed control, but I wanted to kind of test some stuff out on my yard. So I used some Speed Zone, and I used my my backpack sprayer, and the dandelions are already kind of starting to wilt off. So let's take a look. So you can see they're already kind of starting to wilt a little bit. So just trying to kind of play around a little bit. This was Speed Zone, and I put this down late last night. It was like 8 o'clock at night. It started raining at about 5 this morning. I'm actually pretty impressed that they're already starting to wilt a little bit and starting to die off. So that's pretty fast in my opinion. But I'll tell you the funny part about the weed control stuff, and I was talking to Richie Plemons with Plemons Lawn Care a little bit ago. We were talking about this, and you know, I've actually, like I told you guys in a previous video, I took my test, I failed it, but I'm going to be retaking it here real soon. But even if I pass that test, I was only a couple questions off from passing. Even if I pass that test, it just doesn't mean that I know how to do weed control yet. So I kind of wanted to experiment a little bit and kind of wanted to kind of play around. But anyway, like I said, we got some stuff to do today. We got a couple of yards to go look at. I need to go look at somebody wants a flagstone patio. So we're gonna go look at that real quick. We got a dethatch job to look at, and we gotta go pick up my new shirts that I had made with my new business number on them and everything. And we went pretty plain on this one. They was running a special one color, $7.99 shirts, so I was like, well, let's take advantage of that, and so that's what we did. But I actually think they turned out pretty good. The mock-up did anyway. But we're gonna go pick those up, and we're gonna see what we can get into. As you guys can tell, I'm not a big fan of cold rain. It's just not very fun. Okay, so I'm back from doing all my running around. Took a little bit longer than I expected because I made a little detour. But first off, let me show you guys the new shirts. So basically, kind of like what I said before, they had a one color special, $7.99 a shirt. So I took advantage of it, and I actually really like the way it turned out. Kind of plain, but it really looks kind of cool in my opinion. So we got the gray shirt, and then we got just the white logo. So that looks pretty cool to me in just the front. And yeah, so we actually did something a little bit different this time as far as the shirt. We got long sleeve shirts and we got some short sleeve shirts. So something a little bit different than what this is right here. This is full color, but I still like it. But I really like those as well. So another thing I did when I was out running around is I kind of decided I needed a kind of a sprinkler repair kit. So we're getting into sprinklers now, as you guys know, and we kind of need a variety of things to fix things on the job. I've done it a couple times now to where I've been out and I've needed to fix a head or just kind of fix something, and I didn't have the right stuff, so I had to come back. So I don't want to do that no more, and we've kind of put together a little sprinkler kit. Now I'm gonna kind of go through it and kind of show you guys what's all in my kit. That way, if I'm missing something that a lot of you sprinkler guys you know, think I need or whatever, please point it out. Put a comment below, and I'll definitely add it to the list. So what I did is I went to Lowe's. So when I went to Lowe's, I know the first thing I needed was some kind of toolbox, and I kind of looked around and I found the Craftsman Versa Stack, and I thought that would be kind of cool for sprinklers. I didn't buy like the wheeled one. I mean, that thing was like 60 bucks. So I decided just to get this small one right here and this one right here to where I can put all my fittings in. And we'll kind of go through that here in a minute. But, you know, this is no kind of Craftsman advertising or anything like that. It's just something I seen at Lowe's, so I bought it. So we're gonna go through this toolbox here, and then we'll kind of go through this one. So this one here, I just basically kind of got, you know, the hand tools, vice grips, channel locks, wire, some screwdrivers, and then I got some piping, some cutting stuff. Some of this stuff I already had here in the shop too, by the way. I didn't go out and spend an enormous amount of money. I spent about $140 something on all this. So anyway, one thing I did get that I've kind of looked at before, I didn't really know, but I got this Orbit. It's kind of a universal tool thing, and you know, obviously it's got the screwdrivers, it's got the heads to where you can adjust those, and just kind of a handy little tool. There's a lot of things on here that I'm not even quite sure what half of them are, but you got a nut driver right there. You can take this out, and you got some kind of tool right here. So just a lot of different stuff, but anyway, kind of cool. I'll probably end up losing half the pieces by the time I need them, but cool nonetheless. So just some regular old pliers. So basically that's just all the hand tools. So just like I said, just all the hand tools that I might need, just stuff that I had stuffed in the drawer. I got like 5 of everything. So that stuff there really didn't cost me a whole lot. So I got an old bin here that I had for screwdrivers and stuff. This is where I'm kind of keeping all the spray heads. So I got kind of 2 of every kind of spray head. You know, I got some 90s, I got some 360s, all that kind of stuff. So this is kind of what that's in. And then I just got a bunch of different little heads, some rotors, some sprayers, and just all kinds of little heads like this. I don't have a whole bunch, but I got enough to get me by, you know, if I need to fix a few things. So, and then we also got in here, we got our torch. This here kind of saved my butt a little bit last year. I had to do a job to where I had to kind of move some heads and do that kind of stuff. So we have some line in here. Let me pull that out for you real quick. So just got some flex line, and obviously the starter. So I haven't even seen if this thing works still. Ooh, it's got some power to it. Let's try it out. That works pretty good. So, funny story about this little torch here. Last year, where's it at? Last year I bought that because, like I said, I had to do a job where I had to move some sprinklers around and do kind of different things. And I bought that, and you know, it came with just the regular old head on it. And of course, I'm down in the hole and I'm trying to move my stuff, and I pointed upside down, and it kept kind of shutting off on me. And I'm like, what the heck, man? It was starting to really irritate me. So my dad just lived like, you know, a couple blocks away. So I went over there and I was like, what do you do, Dad? What do most guys, what are they using? He goes, what you need, son. You know how dads are. And Dad, if you're watching this, I love you to death. But you know how dads are. What you need is you know, one of these. So he looked around his garage and he found it. So this is something where I can still have this sitting upright, but I can be down in a hole and you know, heat up that flex line to where I can put any kind of fittings on there. So kind of cool, but I really like it. So another thing we got in here, we got some flags that we bought. I like these because if you're working on a property, you're turning on the sprinklers or whatever, and you find a head that's messed up, you can just flag it and you can keep going, and that way you can kind of fix them all at one time. Just kind of flag which ones need work. That way you can find them again whenever they shut down. I've had that problem before where it goes to a different zone and that head disappears, and then you're sitting there trying to figure out where it's at. So these flags are really handy. So one thing that I know for sure that I need is I need like just a small little voltmeter where I can test out, you know, and see if valves are running properly. And that actually came in handy on the job I told you guys I did about a week or so ago, when I had 2 valves that weren't working right, and we tested them to make sure, you know, they were still getting power, and they were, so we knew the valves were working okay. So, but anyway, that's definitely something I know I need, is some kind of a meter. So like I said before, in here we just got a bunch of fittings. We got a bunch of risers, 1/2 inch, 3/4, elbows, 3/4, you know, just some tees and things like that if we're moving heads. You know, 1/4 or some 1/2 inch fittings, and just some more 1/2 inch elbows. Just kind of pretty basic stuff, but stuff that, you know, I kind of need, especially if I'm going to be doing this a lot, which I hope I am, you know, going forward. You know, we've gotten a really good start on the sprinkler stuff, and so, you know, obviously I need to be set up for this to where I'm not kind of wasting my time going from you know, one job to the store, job to the store, job to the store. You know, that's not very efficient. So I want to be able to get there, turn the system on, and get it done and all that kind of stuff. And you know, also with service calls, that's something I haven't really dealt with yet, but hopefully we'll start getting some service calls, you know, to come fix things, and you don't have a clue what's going on. You want to be prepared for everything. So, and I know this kit, I'll be adding to it from, you know, all through the years and all through, you know, whatever, because there's just some things that you know, you're going to need, and you really don't know you're going to need it until you need it. That's why if you guys ever, you know, if you guys see this and you see something that I'm missing, I'm sure there's probably a laundry list of things that, you know, you guys are going to tell me that I need, but that's the type of stuff that I want, because I want to make sure I'm prepared for every single job. So the last thing that I definitely need is my gauges to test my backflows. Now these gauges are not cheap whatsoever. This setup right here cost me about $800 for the gauges and some of the fittings that I'm going to need. So it's definitely not cheap. It's definitely an investment, and you know, but I've literally already made my money back on all of this, doing sprinkler stuff already just in the last couple weeks. So there is money in sprinklers, I think, and that's kind of why I'm trying to, you know, get into that. And this is kind of what I talked about at the end of last year, about getting into different things that aren't as there's more profit in them, in my opinion, than mowing. I mean, mowing you're doing every week, don't get me wrong, but sprinklers, you know, you spend a little bit of money up front, and it's not 10 grand, but you know, it's not a whole lot of money, but and you can make some money, but profit wise, I think there's a bigger profit margin. The only downside with sprinklers is you know, you're not doing sprinklers every single week, at least I'm not. So but these bigger companies, they're getting calls all the time to do sprinkler work and whatever, you know, and that's fine, but I want to be able to provide my customers with any kind of sprinkler repair. That way, you know, when I'm there mowing, I can already be there, I can work on stuff and just try to make a little bit of extra money. Let's take a look at these gauges here real quick, and like I said, this setup here is right around $800. So just to kind of give you kind of a short little description of what all this is. This is your high pressure gauge, your low pressure gauge. This is your bypass. This here is your what do they call it? I'm already stumped. Your bleed valves. These are your bleed valves. Bleed the high side, you bleed the low side, and obviously this is your gauge, and this is how you test backflows. And you know, maybe one day I'll kind of take you guys and do step by step on how to test a backflow. But right now, you know, I'm still using my cheat sheet they give you in the class, all that type of stuff. You know, every single one I've done, I've got to look on there and make sure I'm doing it right. And there's been a few to where I haven't done it right, so I need to redo it, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, just kind of wanted to show you guys what's all kind of in this, and you know, this is roughly about $1,000 worth of stuff, but it should get me by for a long time. You know, fittings and stuff, they're a dime a dozen, not a big deal. So anyway, just want to share with you guys what's in my sprinkler kit. We'll see you guys later.